We can dive into this main card because what we were talking about earlier on the prelims and part one of Beefy Boys Breakdown, episode 58, but we were talking about some interesting card placement. And we brought up a few examples on the prelims that, you kind of take it or leave it on the prelims. But when you start talking about main card placement and the level of these next athletes we're about to introduce and the caliber of fighters they've fought, it's not like they haven't earned it. I thought it was a little disrespectful to have them be the lowest on the main card.
They literally should have flipped. I cannot believe Trevin Jones got to fight a replacement fight as the third fight on the 6-fight card for the
100%.
main card. And these guys had to open it ranked number 3 and number 6. That makes no sense. It's disrespectful to the weight class, too.
Well, and I guess this is where I've earned my moniker of Rankings McGee here on Beefy Boys Breakdown. But this not everybody's going to agree with this take, but I feel like I'll be the one to go ahead and say it. I don't like saying this, but it should have been the co-main over Clay Guida.
100%. 100%. I mean, without question.
I'm not trying to be spicy here, but I know Marco Madsen, Olympic wrestler, and Clay Guida, Hall of Famer. I get it, I really do. But we're in 2021, making a co-main event. We got the number 3 and the number 6 flyweight, both of who have fought Brandon Moreno. Royval lost to Moreno. I think it was his last fight before his first title shot. And then Pantoja's actually beat Moreno twice.
And subbed him and then 30-26'd him once.
Yes. So to put these guys this low on the card, I think this is what we were both alluding to when we were really talking about problem with the card placement.
This was essentially a number 1 contenders fight for a title belt. And I don't understand how you're going to put that to start. Now, I get to start the card, you tell people, a card starts at, say 9 Eastern or whatever. So, boom, right at 8, people tuning in, this is the fight they see. Why not put Clay Guida and Marco Madsen there? Clay Guida is going to be your average fan, your non-hardcore.
That guy before the guy with the hair, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Why not put him there and then go with Vince Pichel and Austin Hubbard, 2 guys that are kind of fighting to come up through the ranks. And Austin Hubbard, that's the one fight I thought.
That fight was above this. That's fucking bullshit, man. It really is, man.
Right.
I'm a real big card placement guy. Shout out CLP. But no, he makes a very valid point. At the end of the day, card placement matters damn near more than about anything else. I won't say more than anything else. Probably paychecks and, say what you want about the rankings. It's probably the quickest way to a title shot is to increase that number next to your name. But the other alternative is working your way up the card. And yeah, bro, all right, I said earlier I wasn't trying to be spicy. Now this is me trying to be spicy. I'll go as far as to say there's an argument to be made that
for this to be the main event
of next week's card over Barbosa and Giga. As far as who deserves it. Now I know the whole deserves it argument doesn't get you very far with Dana White or in most promotions, but if you're talking about competitive architecture and deserves it and title and not in even it's a number 1 contenders bout in a meaningful division.
I would say divisional implication, man. Based on that alone, this had more implication in its division than any other fight on this whole card tonight, including Gastelum and Cannonier.
That's pretty spicy. Okay, I like it. I'm not disagreeing with it.
Well, I just feel
and it definitely has more divisional implications than Shikaze versus Barbosa. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my dick doesn't start to get the slightest bit stiffer whenever I think of Giga and Edson.
And Barbosa.
So it's not that I don't get why that's a main event. Trust me, and I'm fucking stoked physically and emotionally over that one. But,
the styles of that matchup are so good. I cannot wait.
But if you're talking about neither one of them gets a title shot from that, but the winner of this fight can get a title shot. So
essentially probably does if it's Pantoja. You know what I mean? If Pantoja is the guy to win this fight, he's number 3. He holds 2 wins over Moreno. Literally, Moreno's in attendance to watch this fight.
Yeah.
I didn't see Israel Adesanya in attendance.
Broadcast too, getting that double bag, that double dip,
double bag.
Moreno. Yeah, love it.
But yeah, man, that's my whole point is that Cannonier, even if he wins or even if Gastelum being at 9, he's not going to get that title shot that easy. He'd probably have to win another one. For Cannonier, though, being number 3, if he's to win that fight, it still doesn't matter because we all know it's going to be Bobby Knuckles versus
Well, I think that part,
Israel
yeah,
for
yeah.
the belt, and then it's like, okay, Cannonier, like you win, well then you're just gonna have to fight someone like Till or Vittori or any of these other guys that are still in line.
And Cannonier didn't disagree with anything that you said right there in any of his opportunities with the mic last night, which we'll get to. But yeah, all right, let's just dive in. We've spoken our piece. We got Alexandre Pantoja, minus 175 favorite, ranked third in the flyweight division, fighting Brandon Royval, ranked sixth in this division. And for all intents and purposes, this is a number one contenders match. Royval, I think, was plus 100, or was it plus 100 or plus 160?
Let me check real fast. I believe it
My handwriting
was
was not great by this point.
plus 160. Plus
Plus
160.
160. All right.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good money line. Like, I honestly thought Pantoja was going to win this fight. I probably would have bet it, but, it wasn't the greatest number, minus 175 when you're betting a small amount. So, I did pass. But this was probably the only fight that I felt like would have been a good parlay builder. But because I felt pretty strongly about Pantoja. But I got to say, round one, absolute war, super competitive round. Royval looked pretty goddamn good in round one.
How fun of a round was it?
So
like, actually,
fun.
just like the scrambles, the battle for position,
The
fact
pace.
that the pace was insane. And the pace never let down. Like, even in the second round.
I was watching round one, and I got to be real. I was like, oh, yeah, this is what's dope about flyweights. Like, the pace. Like, no other weight class, even Bantam, could have replicated that pace. Like it was balls to the wall, pedal to the metal. Like, usually, like, in the bigger weight classes, there'll be, like, a super intense, combination or exchange or sequence or scramble. But then there'll be like pauses, breaks, almost like a football game. And this was like straight up like soccer, just nonstop, or like rugby, just a non-fucking stop. There was no huddles being had.
Yeah, honestly, man. And you know what else is even more interesting to this fight about me is that Royval has only had 4 fights in the UFC. One of them was that loss to Moreno where he popped his whole shoulder out of socket. So it's like, well, that's not even really like – he was losing the fight, but it wasn't like he was getting dominated.
A fucking doctor stoppage.
And then it's like he has wins over Tim Elliott and Kai Kara France. So, like, it's just crazy to think that it blew my mind when I saw these guys open the card. I was like, that's honestly disrespectful.
I thought it was disrespectful as well.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
No, I thought round one was essentially a coin flip, man. And I actually gave it to Royval. Not going to die on that hill. It was a ultra competitive round, though. Like, I feel like if you try to puff your chest out with whoever you gave it to, you're unless you feel super confidently about it. I thought it was essentially a coin flip.
I thought it was a complete toss-up of a round. And then I even went to go look at the judges' scorecards just to see how they went about it.
Yeah,
So Colon and Torelli, who are judges we almost never have, both had it to Pantoja. Sal D'Amato, who almost always judges the championship fights, gave Royval round one.
Yeah, I gave it to Royval too, but I mean, by a fucking nut hair. You know what I mean? Like,
great fight though.
Super competitive. I was juiced. I was like, oh, this is what like a flyweight contenders fight should fucking look like textbook of how that should look like. And they were delivering both on the feet and on the ground. No, it was weird because as competitive as round one was, round two was like one-sided and dominant on the side of Pantoja. And Pantoja ends up getting the rear naked choke. 1:46 in this round two, just dominated from bell to bell, and just it was like the tale of two halves, man. Round one as competitive as it fucking gets. Round two as dominant as it really gets. It might how'd you
It was weird because the whole first round he spends while he's on Royval's back trying to get the hooks in. Royval does this excellent job to keep hip sliding out of the hooks and like keeping him from being able to like fully get like a body triangle or hooks in, like anything like that. As soon as Pantoja got the body triangle locked in the second round, that was all Royval was worried about fighting, which confused me really badly because I was like, Pantoja's really dangerous on your neck. Like, you should probably keep a hand up. And he was just trying to like two-hand peel the legs. And I was like, man, that's not going to work.
Yeah, man. Pantoja, just, I don't know, dominant round two. Like,
Great technique in round two.
Round two, I thought it was like what I expected to see. But like I said, round one, you can't take it away from Royval. I mean, I don't know if he was starting to get tired because the pace was insane, even for a flyweight. or if he just, like I said, was worried about the wrong thing, as you alluded to. But yeah, it was just so crazy how different those two rounds looked. Like if you just watch those rounds independently, it was just almost like two completely different like universes.
Right. Like in one universe, they were like evenly matched. Like it could go 50-50 the entirety of the round. And the next time they showed up, it was like a 90-10 split. Like
Yeah,
Royval almost instantly got taken down, got his
yeah,
back taken, and got the whole body triangle, got the neck like locked in. Like I was like, damn, Pantoja just took a minute. It took 84 seconds technically, or what was it?
yeah.
Minute 42.
80, yeah, 46.
So 106 seconds to pretty much dominate Royval after he spent 300 seconds fighting him to the death. Like it was a weird reversal of fortune.
Yeah, so Pantoja gets the sub. He ended up getting the bonus for that as well, right? I believe.
Yes, yeah. So he's the other bonus winner.
Yeah, so I mean, and just even more reason why this fight should have been higher on the card, man. You know what I'm saying? Just
and then he calls out Moreno immediately after the fight.
He calls out Moreno, who's there. He was super nice about it, which you can.
Yeah, nicest call out I've ever heard.
Nicest call out ever. It is what it was, because you know why he was able to make it nice is because it was the obvious next fight, right? You know what I'm saying?
And it's like for Moreno, it's like he avenged the draw for Figueiredo. And then if you look at the rankings, Pantoja's 2, obviously Moreno's the champ. Only 2 people in between them are Askar Askarov and Figueiredo, who obviously Figueiredo's out. And now Askar Askarov has an argument, but he doesn't have the 2 wins over Moreno.
He's on the Leon Edwards diet, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, the only clear next fight for Moreno is Pantoja, especially with the losses. Now, I gotta say, this knee-jerk reaction, how you feeling? Like, say I gave you even odds, you just coin toss pick 'em, money line, Pantoja versus Moreno. This Moreno, I think Moreno's a different guy now. I think Champ Moreno, different mojo. I don't know. I think I'm still leaning with Moreno, but I kind of do. Am I an idiot for doing that?
No, I'm leaning with Moreno too. But it's one of those things where, like, when the more I think about it, I'm like, the stylistic matchup is not good for Moreno here.
I know, but Moreno, man,
and it's tough whenever he has a submission loss to Moreno, or Moreno has a submission loss to him, and then he also has a 30-26 loss.
I
like
know.
It's like, damn, you got beat pillar to post in one of those, man.
It's like, has Moreno's like scramble ability like advanced? Because I mean, we're talking.
He's a good wrestler, but like
6 years ago in that first loss. I mean, a meaningful period of time here.
So let's see. Against Brandon Moreno, he has the unanimous decision victory in 2018, May of 2018.
So that's essentially 4 years ago at this point.
And then
3.5, 4.
I don't even see the.
It's like, because the other one was, I think, Ultimate Fighter finale.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He subbed on the Ultimate Fighter, so it doesn't count as a real pro record fight.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it happened, right?
And it's not like they're not fighting like it's not a pro fight.
And
you know what I mean?
I think that had to be like 6 years ago or 5 years ago, at least, over 5 years ago. And I think it's just fair to say that this Moreno's a different guy.
That would have been in 2016, because that's the year he took off.
Moreno got cut. I mean, people remember Moreno got cut from the UFC. So the Ultimate Fighter loss was before he got cut. Ever since he came back from being cut, he's a different guy.
Now, I will say this as well, though, is Askar Askarov does have a win over Pantoja last year in July.
Yeah, he does.
So that's really interesting the way this MMA math's working out, where it's like, well, he's beating the champ, but the champ has beaten Figueiredo, who's beaten both these guys.
Done for me lately. It always
for
has
sure,
been, always will be. Probably should be that way. Activity is rewarded. Finishing a guy like Royval, man. I mean, that's what Moreno did to get his title shot. Was finished Royval.
True. Now, also though, first fight in the UFC for Askarov was against New Moreno, 2019, and they fought to a draw. So it's like really spicy at the top now. And Figueiredo's still lurking, because Figueiredo's going to fight one of these guys. He's going to probably fight Askarov. And it's like, for Askarov,
that's a fun one.
They haven't fought, and they need to.
That's fun.
Yeah, I think Pantoja gets the shot. And then I think that, I mean, just sensibly, that Figueiredo fights Askarov to see who gets to fight the winner.
For sure, man. I guess we'll keep it pushing. I know we spent a lot of time on that fight, but it's because, like, we had to give it the best due because they did it. You know what I'm saying?
It had the most implications of the whole card. You
we
know
have
what I
these
mean?
prelim fighters coming up here that we're about to break down, and we have the number one contenders, and so we had to give it its just due.